as a blogger who specializes in revenge dramas. I talked about the serial murderer Jang Jin-cheol played by Choi Min-jang earlier. Many friends said it was so enjoyable. So today I will talk about another demon by Han Xiang he created. Different from Jang Geum-ja, who specializes in picking women. Prime Minister Bai Han specializes in kidnapping, extorting, and robbing children. The level of cruelty is even worse than that of Jang Geum-ja. On the surface, he is a preschool teacher that children like. Behind the scenes, he is a notorious child murderer. He committed many crimes but was never caught. The clever thing is, he never kidnapped students in his class. Every time you make a vote, you have to endure it for a few years, then change schools and continue to lurk. Kidnapped again, the police can't do anything to him, but he shouldn't have signed it. You should never mess with a woman named Jin-zi. When Jin-zi first came of age, he encountered unkind people, pregnant with a scumbag's child. She is so kind that she can't bear to get rid of her. I dare not tell my family. Then I thought of my teacher Bai Hangshang, who had a good impression on me, but I didn't expect that this would be like a sheep entering a tiger's mouth. Bai Hangshang threatens his unborn child, force him to help him kidnap students. He swindled money by saying that the other party was from a rich family. Children are not short of money. Let him go once he gets the ransom, and experienced life and death. The relationship between children and parents will deepen a lot. Now, after getting it, he will share the money to help her raise her children. Pure Gold believed the devil's lies for the sake of her children, helped him tie up a boy named Hongmu. But he didn't expect that Bai Hangshang would directly and cruelly tear up the vote, in order to silence him afterwards. Kidnapped Kaneko's newborn daughter again? Use the child's life to force her to take the blame. Jin-zi promised that a woman could endure unjust imprisonment for more than 10 years. But I can never tolerate my daughter being harmed at all. Bai Hangshang was very proud, thinking that I got away perfectly. What he didn't expect was this woman who was driven to a dead end by him. In the future, he will become the angel that the devil fears most. This is the plot of the 2005 Korean film Kindness of Gold, the final chapter of director Park Chan-wook's revenge trilogy, a classic that is regarded as a masterpiece of female revenge by countless movie fans. Let's do an in-depth analysis today. This story about atonement and forgiveness between angels and demons. The police who received Jin's surrender. You can tell at a glance that he is not the real murderer, because he didn't even know Hongmu before he died. Marbles in hand. I can't tell what color it is. But Jin-zi took the initiative to plead guilty. In addition, public opinion is boiling. Senior officials urge closure of case. In the end, he chose to make mistakes. That's all. Jin-zi was sentenced to 13 years in prison. The moment of imprisonment, Jin-zi began to plan revenge. He knows that Bai Hangshang must pay the price. You have to get out alive. So he lived like an angel in prison. He fed the sick prisoners mouthfuls of food, patiently enlightening inmates who have an emotional breakdown. Even to a prisoner with kidney failure, donated one of his kidneys. He treats prison as a battlefield. Use kindness as a weapon. The inmates called him the affectionate Jin-zi. Even the priest thought he had inspired a demon. But Gold is clear. It's all fake. After being released from prison, first thing he did, just to find the family of Hongmu, the boy who was murdered that year. That was his heaviest burden in 13 years. Although he was not the murderer who killed the child with his own hands, but he did take part in the kidnapping. She knelt before the parents who had lost their children and picked up a knife, cut off his own finger without hesitation. Didn't cry out for pain. Decisive tone. As long as you don't forgive him, the Gold will keep cutting, even if all 10 fingers and toes are cut off. Hongmu's parents eventually forgave him and called an ambulance. Jin-zi used the money he saved in prison to heal his finger. He lights candles in front of the mirror. Make a wish to God. I swear to nothing. Bai Han Ali, your death day has come. Who are you? The chess game begins to turn for Jin-zi's 13 years in prison. His revenge plan. The layout started as early as the first day he was imprisoned. Every inmate he helps is a pawn on his chessboard. The first inmate, Jin Rongshi, opened a barber shop after being released from prison. Jin stayed with her during the revenge period. The second inmate, Juan Suan, suffered from kidney failure. Sperm donated a kidney and saved his life. After being released from prison, Hyan So-won's husband, based on the design drawings Jin-ji obtained from an old North Korean spy, a fine silver pistol was built for him. The third inmate Puyi was bullied by the Yuba witch during his growth period. I was so desperate that I wanted to die in prison. It was gold that pulled her back from the abyss. Who is a witch? She is the one who is feared by everyone in the prison. Sent to jail for cooking her husband and her lover into roasted meats and eating them. Plus a hot temper, strong build. Everyone in prison was bullied by him. Kaneko calmly poured soapy water on the bathroom, let the witch fall and be seriously injured. Then he pretended to take care of her every day. Mix a small amount of bleach into his meals every day. This game lasts for 3 years in one step. The witch was eaten alive without realizing it. Word spreads. Those inmates who were bullied, finally able to have a peaceful sleep. Park It-sang carved this life-saving grace into his bones. After being released from prison, she took the initiative to approach Bai Hangshang in order to more conveniently deliver messages to Jin-ji. Even married him. From then on, he became the sharpest and most hidden knife on Jin's revenge road. The road to revenge is dangerous. There is still an unsolved knot in Jin's heart. That is the whereabouts of my daughter. She found the police officer who was responsible for her case. Although the other party has retired, but I always knew that Jin-ji was not the real murderer. I have always regretted that I could not catch the murderer. Through his relationship, Jin-ji finally learned the whereabouts of his daughter. It turned out that after he was imprisoned, Bai Hangshang sold her child to a couple in New Zealand. Jin-ji rushed over after obtaining the other party's consent. I finally saw my daughter who was grown up and doing well. Now Gold can finally rest assured, even if you die on the road to revenge. He is also fearless, but he didn't expect. Just as I was preparing to return home, my daughter forced me to die. I have to come back with her. In desperation, the adoptive parents had to agree. Jin-ji just returned to China. Park Yi-zeng, the inmate responsible for monitoring Bai Hangshang, came to the door. He really can't stand it anymore. Spending one more second with that demon made him sick. If you want gold, you have to do it tonight. But what they don't know is, this meeting was filmed by a pastor from a distance. Talking about this pastor, Jin-ji has never been able to figure out his details. Since he was imprisoned, this person has been pestering her. Visit him in prison from time to time. How did you know that he was actually the detective hired by Bai Hangshang to monitor him? The devil was afraid that the gold would give him away. So I keep paying to keep this eye. Photos of when Jin and Parky once met. When handed to Xiang Bai Han, he understands everything. He began to brew something in his heart. The detective asks for his bounty. This time Bai Hangshang refused directly. This vampire who has been sucking demon blood for a long time. He called his wife. Let him go home and cook quickly. I plan to deal with him after dinner. At the same time, he also hired two kidnappers, ordered them to tie Jin and his daughter in front of him. He wants to deal with the gold himself. Finally, I have to kill the priest. Gold, who knew nothing about all this. I'm walking home with my daughter. Over there in Bai Han Lane, I was waiting for my wife to finish the meal. Beat him up and tie him up. I'm going to finish him off after dinner. At the same time, Jin-ji and her daughter encountered two kidnappers. They covered Jin's mouth with drugs. Parents and children hold their breath and struggle desperately. In the chaos, he bit the robber's palm. The robber let go of his hand in pain. Jin-ji took the opportunity to break free. They never expected. This woman has a gun. In the blink of an eye, two gunshots rang out. The two robbers fell to the ground. At the same time, Xiang Bai Han also collapsed on the dining table. He also didn't expect. His wife secretly drugged him while cooking. Soon, Jin-ji rushed to Xiang Bai Han's home with his unconscious daughter. looking at the enemy lying unconscious on the table. The fire of revenge that he had suppressed for 13 years was burning brightly. I wish I could kill him with 1,000 knives on the spot, but he still endured it. He only used scissors to cut her hair crazily to vent his anger. Later, he and his fellow inmates tied up the demon tightly. Geum-ja turned back to see his daughter, found him still sleeping, while arranging his coat. Suddenly, I touched a red letter. When he opened it, he saw that it was his daughter's heartfelt message to him. It turns out that my daughter insisted on coming. She wants to find out why her mother abandoned her for so many years. She misses her mother all the time. I also hate my mother for abandoning me. Sometimes I even hate her to death. After reading Geum-ja's heart, she was overwhelmed with emotions. But the most important thing right now is to execute the devil by Hangshang first. Geum-ja drives with inmates, driving by Hangshang and his daughter all night. Finally arrived at an abandoned school. This is the place where Geum-ja helped kidnap the boy Hongmu. Already abandoned after many years, Geum-ja decided to end everything here. But before taking action, Geum-ja must first untie the knot in his daughter's heart. He wants to tell the truth about why he abandoned her. Make it clear word for word. He put a gun to Bai Hangshang's head. Force this devil to confess everything that happened that year. Bai Hangshang didn't utter a single word. The wound in Geum-ja's heart was open once. Tears flowed down her cheeks. My daughter stood aside and listened to everything. I finally understood that my mother didn't want her. Instead, she was forced to take the blame at the risk of her life. She took the initiative and threw herself into Geum-ja's arms. Crying so hard, Geum-ja hugged her tightly. Keep saying sorry over and over again. Then Geum-ja called his daughter's adoptive parents. Entrust your children to them. What will happen next will be a bloody revenge. He doesn't want his daughter to see. He raised his gun again and pointed it at Bai Han, like a finger on the trigger. But he didn't press it for a long time. He wanted so much to kill this beast with one shot, but it would be too easy for him to die like this. Just when he resisted his impulse, Bai Hangxiang's cell phone suddenly rang. It turned out to be the innocent and cute voices of the children in his class. Mom has never eaten it. Hum. There's no meat on your head. Geum-ja grabbed the phone and hung up his gaze, but I was attracted by the mobile phone pendant. The mahogany marbles are hanging on it. She suddenly realized, if marbles were trophies, the other for pendants mean that he also killed for children. Just the death of a child. Geum-ja has been regretting it for 13 years. Unexpectedly, there were 4 lives left. At that moment, the anger in his chest almost exploded. He pinched the white elephant's neck hard, nails embedded in flesh. The truth strangles her to death like this. But he felt that this was too cheap for him. He let go. Kick and beat this devil like crazy. Every foot carries 13 years of injustice, and the blood of those for innocent children. He's not just venting his anger. He is looking for an outlet for his guilt. He hated that he was kept in the dark back then. I hate myself for being an accomplice. After venting his anger, Geum-ja pulled the limp Bai Hangshang up, raised the gun and aimed it at his feet. Oh. 2 gunshots. The devil's feet were beaten to pieces. Even if you break free of the rope, I can't run away anymore. He called the old policeman who was in charge of the case. The burial site revealed through Bai Han Lane. Police successfully recovered the bodies of 4 murdered children. Later, Geum-ja and inmate Park Yi once turned upside down in Prime Minister Bai Han's house. Finally, under the secret compartment of his desk drawer, a videotape recorded during the ransom extortion was discovered. Soon, 5 cars drove to the abandoned school, arranged from right to left in order of richest. Rolls-Royce, Mercedes-Benz, BMW. The last thing that arrived was a dilapidated truck. It turns out that Geum-ja and the old policeman called all the parents of the 5 kidnapped children. They used generators to generate electricity. Start playing the videotape at home in Bai Han Lane. Even after many years, parents are still filled with grief and anger when watching the video. No one can watch it calmly. Picture of his own child being kidnapped and murdered. Geum-ja also asked Bai Hangshang about his motive for committing the crime. This devil has been a kindergarten teacher for many years. gradually began to hate children extremely. After kidnapping, he recorded the video and then killed them. Among the blackmail calls parents receive, all the sounds played are pre-recorded sounds, and the children have long been torn apart. He deposited all the huge ransom money in the bank, going back to buy a cruise ship. Parents are stunned, dumbfounding, never expected. His own child was killed for such a ridiculous motive. Anger surges up like a tide. They began to discuss how to deal with this demon. Geum-ja gave two choices. First, leave it to the old police, because he has been unable to solve the case, resulting in the tragic death of so many children. The Baihan Lane case has always been a pain in his heart. Leave it to him to get the most just judgment. But there is no death penalty in Korea. This devil can only be imprisoned for life. Second, execute him right here. The old policemen only serve as supervisors, will not stop or report, no matter how everyone chooses. He respects and supports. After voting, parents finally unanimously decided, execute him here with your own hands. The parents decided to take a stab at each. Everyone has a share. This way no one will report anyone. And the most heart-wrenching thing about Gold is, he prepared a loudspeaker. Discuss every word of the parents. All were transmitted to the room in Baihan Alley in real time. Let him hear clearly what he is about to face word for word. Soon, Geum-ja prepared knives and raincoats for each parent. Only one parent holds a distinctive stick in his hand. A kind person nearby offered to lend him a knife to save him. You can hold on. The situation started with the parents of the first victim, Hong-moo. Go in chronological order. Hong-moo's father suffers from heart disease. By mother, the old policeman stood at the door, hands-on teaching on site. The older one isn't here, watching soldiers all the way into Germany. Developed again. This is the most shocking scene in the whole film. The lens is as calm and powerful as installation art. Those ordinary parents turned into judges at this moment. Geum-ja stood aside the whole time, as a bystander, also a conspirator. This setting reminds me of Murder on the Orient Express, but director Park Chan-ok turned him into something completely different. Revenge is Murder on the Orient Express. Revenge here is a group of people abandoned by fate, finally found some justice. Soon, Hong-moo's mother came out covered in blood. She was obviously frightened when she stabbed someone for the first time. Her husband hugged her and cried to comfort her, judging from the blood stains on the knife. What the old policeman taught you was right. The whole knife was almost inserted into it. The devil in the room, by Han, trembled with fear, breathing heavily. Even the devil is afraid of the feeling of dying. This time the four parents next to each other started working together, for knives stabbed in at the same time, listening to the screams of the devil in the house. The remaining two parents even chatted at the door, the one with the axe, different from the other for wealthy parents. Their life is difficult. I emptied my fortune to collect the ransom, still owe a huge debt. Life is extremely difficult. Not only is the money gone, even my favorite child was ripped apart. Ah, Affin, don't you dare snatch it. Really, we are so happy you do it. Seeing Bai Hangshang for the first time, his father wanted to chop him alive with an axe, but he was stopped by his daughter, because I still want to keep him. Revenge the last parent in one breath. Not long after, the two men crawled out covered in the blood of their enemies. The extreme pain made it difficult for the father to stand up. The last parent walked in gracefully, not even wearing a raincoat, angry written on face. She gave the demon the final blow with her child's school scissors. After the death of Xiang Baihan, parents tidied up the scene together in a tacit understanding. They collected the demon's blood in 2 buckets, cleaned other places. Before leaving, the old policeman took a group photo of everyone as a certificate to jointly keep secrets. Geum-ja just watched the whole process until he saw with his own eyes that the devil who hurt him was buried in the ground. He finally couldn't help but draw his pistol, shoot his body twice, to bring an end to this long revenge. But for Kanazawa, atonement is never something that can be accomplished with just one revenge. He needs more than just killing Bai Hangshang. But forgive yourself, and forgiving yourself is much harder than killing someone. After burying Bai Hangshang, Jin made a cake with the bucket of devil's blood, put it in front of all the parents. Parents sing happy birthday together, celebrating his rebirth. They tasted the cake. Surprisingly, it tastes amazingly delicious. Everyone had a great time eating. Parents left gold their own bank accounts. Looking back, Jin will return the children's ransom one by one. There is a question at the end of the story. What exactly is gold? Is he a kind angel or a cold devil? I think it's both. It took him 13 years to kill a demon. But in the process of killing, carve the devil into your own bones and blood. Answer to this question. Maybe only he knows. Maybe he doesn't even know it.